Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank y'all so much for coming back. I do appreciate it. Beware of scammers and fake pages. I'm not on TikTok, I'm not on Facebook. If you see report, even on YouTube, because I had to get one page taken down because you know the devil stays busy. But if you see me anywhere outside of here or on my official Instagram page, I do have a blue check mark. Please make sure you report. But thank y'all so much for coming back and checking out my channel, hanging out with me for a few minutes. I do appreciate it. No, I'm not a financial advisor. I am an investor in the trenches along with you when the markets are up, when the markets are down, trying to get to financial freedom. Okay. So I got a really good question based off of the 3 fund portfolio challenge I'm doing with $100 over at Fidelity. I did an update on that maybe 2 or 3 videos back. I'll try to have a little blurb up on the screen, but I got a great question in terms of how can you start investing with $100. So I figure let me just do a quick video on that. Now I do have a full playlist about everything that I'm going to talk about, a beginner investing playlist, so make sure you check that out. But if you want to start investing with $100 today in 2026, these are a couple of things that I would think about. Before you even put a single penny into the markets, you really need to make sure you understand that you are investing. Okay. I think sometimes as beginners, because I was a beginner once, I'm 12 years on this journey now, is that we confuse investing and trading. So if you're into options, Forex, shorting the market, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But if you are a beginner, investing is where I believe all beginners should be. Now, again, this is not financial advice, but I mean, I've been through the thick and the thicker when it comes to investing. And I'm telling you, if you're a beginner, stick to just investing, especially, again, if you're just getting started and you're getting started with $100. So you want to make sure you understand what type, you know, in terms of like direction you're going, and you are an investor. Okay. So once you have that understanding, the next thing that I think you should understand before you even put a penny into the markets is some basic fundamentals when it comes to the stock market. A lot of times people get into investing with the wrong expectations because your sister did that. You think you're going to get in and you are going to have these 10, 15, 20% returns every single month, every single year. And I'm telling you guys that it can be the inverse. You can go a whole year, 18 months, 2 years with negative returns in the stock market. So you want to make sure that you are setting yourself up with realistic expectations. Yes, I know last year the markets were at all-time highs, but look at what we're going through right now. At least at the recording of this video, I'm filming this on Wednesday, I think is March 10th, I think, where, you know, we have a conflict going on and the markets have been down. Okay. And so you want to make sure that you have realistic expectations when it comes to your returns. Okay. Another thing that you want to try to understand before you invest a single penny is, are you trying to do individual stocks or are you wanting to do like funds? I believe every beginner should be in some type of fund first before you buy individual stocks. Individual stocks are much more riskier, right? You got to really follow the company, earnings reports. You got to see what's going on with the management. You know, what about the product and service that they offer? Are you going to stay on top of that type of stuff? If you want a more hands-off experience, and again, there's no right or wrong way, I'm just saying the preference for a beginner should be some type of fund. You can get into index funds, ETFs, mutual funds, both index funds and ETFs. They're the easiest, I think, for beginners. You can get into them with small amounts of money. I know some mutual funds have like required minimum balances to get into them. That's why a lot of mutual funds are associated with like your retirement accounts, 401ks, things like that. But you want to make sure that, you know, you get into some type of fund, safe, well diversified, whether it tracks the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies in the stock market, or the total stock market. So you get a little bit of everything among all of the sectors, mid cap, large cap, small cap, good ones as well. And I think they have a fund, I think that's ticker symbol VT, that covers international and the total stock market. So you get them like mixed, but just one good one while you're getting started. Okay. You don't have to know everything, but you want to make sure you have some type of understanding of what you want to do before you actually put money into the market. Now, once you do those things and you're kind of ready to invest, you're kind of ready to get your feet wet, you want to make sure that you go to a broker that you feel comfortable with. It doesn't matter if I like interactive brokers, but if you find it difficult to understand, you don't want to open up an account with them. Some people love Robinhood. My daughter, I have a 20-year-old, well, she will be 20 soon. And she likes Robinhood. Robinhood is easy for her to understand. She'll be 20. You know, she don't need a whole lot of charts and a whole lot of this and a whole lot of that. Something she can open up the app, put $10 in something, close the app, and go on about her day. And a lot of people like that. And so, you know, you want to find a broker that fits your vibe, because that's important. If you choose the wrong broker and it doesn't make you excited to invest, it doesn't help you to be consistent, you're kind of going down a wrong path. And I'll tell you this, I have come to the realization, investing all these years, that you can start out liking one broker and then over time transition to another broker that you really love. So give yourself some chance. There's a bunch of brokers out here right now. And you know, I think for beginners, Robinhood is probably the easiest. And this is I'm a Fidelity girl. We have an account at Vanguard. We have accounts at Interactive Brokers. I am telling you, I think Robinhood, I'm not even sponsored by them, but they're the easiest. I mean, I've heard from hundreds of people who told me this, including, like I said, my own daughter. So get a broker. The next thing you want to do is when you attach your checking account to the broker and you transfer the money, you have to actually invest the money. I cannot tell you again how many people that have told me they transferred the money and they thought it was invested. You got to actually invest it. Now you can set up automated investments, where you transfer the money and the platform will automatically invest it, but you have to tell it that. It just will not do it. Okay. And each broker is different in that aspect, a little bit different in terms of setting up automated, investments. Now, Robinhood, I have videos on that, and Fidelity, but if you're with Charles Schwab or something, Google, you can do YouTube. There's a ton of videos where people will show you how to set it up automatically, but you actually have to buy something. You can't just transfer the money. You gotta buy something. Okay. So going back to those funds that we were talking about, you gotta actually invest that money. Do not sell, okay, when the market is red. That is a buying opportunity. You have to switch your psychology with that a little bit, because I'm being honest, especially when I first started investing, it used to spook me all the time. Oh my goodness, it was just red all the time sometimes. But that's the market. Ebbs and flows. Like right now, this conflict we're having, the markets have been pulling back, and you want to make sure that you view that as a buying opportunity. Again, in good and safe stocks and funds, right? You want to make sure that your risk is lower when you have a lot of volatility that's going on right now, but use that opportunity to build up your positions, right? You want to get to 100 shares. Every 100 share stock that you may see someone have, or 100 shares in this ETF or index fund, all started with one. So you build up your shares. You're getting those shares on sale when the market is red. So you track your progress, right? Highlight the small milestones that you hit in addition to the big ones. Surround yourself with people who are doing what you're doing. I'm not saying blindly follow somebody who's buying this or buying that, but people, regular folks. I'm making videos in my car, right? Regular folks who are talking about investing, who are building up their portfolio, because motivation and accountability on this journey, especially when the markets are down, is super helpful. Because again, you will sell thinking, oh my goodness, the world is going to end and I need all of my money now. And then you turn around and guess what? The markets are at all-time highs. So look, you got to change your psychology a little bit. Again, I know, I understand, I've been there, done that. One thing that helps me is logging off the app. Make my investments, log off the app, because if you keep watching the same thing, and this is with anything, over and over and over and over again, from this channel, from this news website, from the TV, the radio, and you're just constantly drinking it in. Not even just financially, but psychologically, that does something to your mental state. And I cannot even bear to watch, listen, or read the same thing for more than 10 minutes, because I'll be depressed, I'll be sad, I'll be scared, I'll be this, I'll be that. And no, I'm looking at what is the big money doing and what do they say? And they'll tell you, buy low, good assets. That's real estate too. Businesses, buy them at a discount, buy them on sale. Okay. And you know what? Just going back a little bit, the $100, even if you don't have $100, if you have $50, get started. You don't have to have cause someone asked me this, like, Shalise, do you have to have a certain amount to get started? No. You don't. I know the person that asked this question was about $100, but you can start investing with $20. So you don't have to have this like magic number to start investing. I have people tell me all the time, Shalise, I invested with $5. I invested with $10. I invested with $7. I took the rest of, my grocery money that I came under budget in, and I put that $23 into Nvidia. You can invest with fractional shares nowadays. That's the blessing of it. And so, get started with whatever you have, especially if you're in your late 30s, 40s, or 50s, and you don't have at least $100,000 in retirement. Okay. And this is just numbers, right? If you don't have at least $100,000 portfolio and you are 45, let's just say, you want to try to invest a little bit more if you can, right? I'm not going to lie and say you're going to have even a $500,000 portfolio by age 60 if you just by putting in $100. You got to put a little bit more in, but to get started, you can invest with $5. I've heard people say once they got the momentum going and the consistency going, it was easy for them to put in hundreds of dollars more or get a side hustle. I know many of you drive Uber on the weekends and you've used that money, that side income money, to get out of debt, to get your emergency fund up. I know people that have done that to save up for a down payment to buy a house. There are people who are doing that to invest more, to max out their Roth IRA. So again, you can start with $100, but you can also start with $50, $25. I have videos on this channel where I'm investing one single dollar. $1. Okay. The shares add up. Eventually you'll get to a whole share, then 10, then 25, 50. And before you know it, you'll be looking at 100 shares. That's the consistency that will get you to whatever financial goal that you have for yourself. And again, it doesn't have to be investing. If you're trying to pay off debt, small amounts, put a couple of dollars into, towards the principal. I know Tasha over at Mind Your Money, she's trying to pay off their car, loan, and I'll have her channel linked below. So make sure you guys go over and follow her. But they have been putting like a couple of dollars every week for like Transfer Tuesday. It's like a budget thing on YouTube where she's putting like small amounts of money to pay down the principal of her loan, thereby lowering the interest. I'm telling you, it's amazing. And you're talking about consistent too. You want some motivation for paying off debt? Tasha's your girl. Okay. So, no excuses for none of us. A little bit goes a long way. Okay. A little bit goes a long way. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe. Come on, hype this video up if that gives you the option. I do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, you already know, I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.